This $1,000 wireless drivetrain has never worked right, and today, it needs to go. While I rip apart this bike, I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes for people trying to learn new skills. Their library is huge, and anyone will be able to find a topic that interests them. It's really the perfect place to start learning a new skill. Recently, I've been using the Skillshare app and listening to classes in the car, specifically about storytelling by Keith Yamashita. Skillshare also has a whole bunch of arts and crafts classes to help keep your kids' minds active during the summer break. And I really appreciate Skillshare's support for the channel over the last 6 months. And if you're one of the first 1,000 people to use my link in the description, you'll get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So go check out their massive library. It's free. I am so glad to get rid of that drivetrain setup. No matter what I did, I could never get the chain to stop skipping. Then, on my last ride, I snapped my XX1 chain. The Saga squad told me it's because I used an off-brand Garbera cassette and they just don't interface well with the SRAM chain. That's my bad for trying to save some money and go off-brand, but I haven't really been impressed with the XX1 AXS. The clutch isn't even that strong and doesn't even keep the chain on that tight, so I really can't recommend the AXS stuff. Let's put it this way. I expected a lot more for $1,000. So I got this, an X01 cable actuated group set. Now I'll never have the added stress of making sure my battery is charged ever again. The only thing I'll really miss is having a super clean cockpit with minimal wires, but I think I have a solution for that. Let's get started. For my first time using heat shrink, that turned out amazing, and it was super fun. But on my last ride, I had a nasty sprocket strike. So I picked up this 1-up bash guard / chain guide. It's probably not necessary, but I look at it as an extra level of protection for my investment. The only thing left is a new chain, and instead of replacing links on my snap chain, and you can call me superstitious, but I've always felt that once a chain snaps, the entire thing is compromised. So with this new fresh chain, I get to try something new that I've always wanted to do: hot wax. Hot waxing your chain is said to be the best form of lubrication to make your chain last hundreds of miles with just one wax. That's way longer than the stuff in the bottle that doesn't even last that long and leaves you with a grimy black chain. To do it, I bought this kit off Amazon. It's paraffin wax, which is what candles are made out of, and then PTFE powder, which is like Teflon from nonstick pans. I'll melt it in my new $12 crock pot, but first, I gotta clean off this nasty factory grease. I hope this goes okay. But while the wax dries, the wireless dropper needs to go too. Before my last ride, the battery was nearly dead, and it took me several tries to even connect the dropper to the app to even check the battery. Instead, I bought the most recommended dropper by the Saga squad, a 1-up dropper. It has the lowest stack height and the shortest overall length on the market, so I'll be able to super slam the seat and also run a longer dropper. Now that the chain is dry, this chain is so silky smooth, but I just have to loosen the links now and we can wrap up this build. I got food on my shirt. Well, this bike is coming together so nicely now. It just sucks that I had to spend so much money to find out that super expensive parts aren't that great. But after replacing almost the whole drivetrain, it's still super flexy when I press on the pedals. So it's gotta be this silent Onyx Vesper hub. And I looked into it, and a lot of people on the internet are reporting the exact same problem. And it's the hub driver that's super flexy under load. So I reached out to Onyx and they said that the Sprag Flex is normal. They claim that no power is lost, and I can't really feel it on the climbs, but I can't dwell on that. I wanna see if this downgraded bike is better now. Even though the hub has that problem, this bike is awesome now. And man, the shifting is so crisp and smooth. And waxing your chain is definitely worth it. I've never had such a quiet chain before, and it's like really, really smooth. I think I'm gonna do that to all my chains now. So I made it to the top, and I'm just so surprised how good this group set works. Even though it's not top of the line, I think it's better than the XX1. And maybe expensive doesn't always equal better. Oh, hi, excuse me. Yeah, there's people out here today, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of embarrassed to ride this bike. This Yeti Blue is just so loud and screams just, look at me. And if anyone's been mountain biking for any time, they know how much this bike costs. And it's almost like when I pass them or if I'm stopped at the same place as them, I'm just embarrassed. I'm trying to like hide my bike. And I don't like that. I look at this as like, if I was driving a Lamborghini, should I be ashamed that I'm driving a Lamborghini? And are people that drive, say, Ferraris, are they embarrassed because they spent $300,000 on a car? I think not, and I should just get over it. But despite all that, I like it, it's a good bike. And let's go see how it rides on the downhill. Wow, that pretty much settles it. Expensive does not equal better, and it just poses more problems, and I just do not like the electric stuff. It just adds more headache and doesn't really give that much benefit, if any at all. And you know what? This short travel trail bike is actually perfect for what I ride. And now that it's reliable and just dialed in, I think I will keep this Yeti after all.